The Oasis Diner is an original Mountain View diner built in New Jersey back in 1954, and it was shipped here that same year to the Plainfield area. Most diners were built on the East Coast, and New Jersey is kind of, back in the day, was the hub for where most diners were. So the company that built this diner was called Mountain View Diners, and they're out of New Jersey, and yeah, that's where most diners were constructed back in the day. They were shipped all over the country, and this is one of the last remaining diners on, we sit right here on the National Road, US 40, and this is one of the last remaining diners on US 40. It was open until about 2010, and it shut down. The owner had health problems, the previous owner, and it had some structural issues. So it sat empty for a few years, and then in 2010 it was listed on Indiana Landmark's 10 most endangered buildings list, and the town caught wind of that, and they got in touch with us, and we decided that we would pick up the diner and relocate it to this location here in downtown Plainfield. I have a construction company as my main line of business, so I was looking for a way to diversify business as well. So it seemed like a good fit just because I could see the pathway to get it relocated and rebuilt. And this was a great location here in downtown Plainfield. We're right next to all the trails. It already had a great following. People loved the diner, and they had, you know, eaten there for many decades before. So it had a great following, a great location, and I thought it was a good business opportunity. And so we picked the building up, drove it down the street, put it in its new location, completely restored it, and reopened it about 9 years ago. Whenever they would do a survey of our community, it was the #1 topic that people wanted to see. They wanted to see the diner reopen because people had so many fond memories of it. When we made the decision to reopen the diner and move it down here, we announced the day that we were going to actually make the move, and the streets ended up being lined up with people from our community. They were so excited. Some people had buttons made that I was there when the diner was moved. The nice thing is the diner was built to be shipped, because they shipped them via railroad back in the 50s. So it was actually built to be shipped. So we just put 2 steel beams underneath the diner where they originally were located, picked it up off the foundation, put it on the back of a semi bed, and drove it down the road. And then we built the foundation here exactly like it was down the street. Just this front portion was the original stainless steel diner. The back section was all brand new construction. Everything up here is original other than like the laminate, some of the laminate on the ceiling we had to replace. All the countertops are new. The booths are reupholstered, but they're the original structure of the booths. So we reused all that we could, but along with that, there's also issues that arise, you know, dealing with an old building, but it's just part of it. That's part of the appeal and the charm of it, is to be sitting in a piece of history like this. The signage, we refurbished that. The front sign that's so vibrant went away at some point, so we had to completely remanufacture that. But our sign manufacturer is a resident of Plainfield, and he actually worked next to the diner growing up, and he knew the sign very well. And so he actually hand painted the palm trees on there because he knew that's what they would have done back in the day. So he was very meticulous about making sure that sign looked just like it did originally. The color scheme and the name and the signage, that was all how it looked originally. So that was part of our agreement, was to bring it back to its original look, which we think it looks cool because you can't drive by here and not see it. When you see our menu, it pays tribute to the National Road, US 40, that we sit on. So we highlight different cities along the National Road with our breakfast specials. Our most popular breakfast item is the Kansas City. It's a loaded biscuits and gravy. We have an Indianapolis special, that's our pork tenderloin with sausage gravy on it. That's a popular one as well. So we try to tell a little bit of the history with our menu too.
Yeah, I'm gonna take your tenderloin sliders.
When you first walk in, you're going to immediately see some pictures showing the history of the diner, how it originally looked, also what it looked like when we moved it and what it looks like now. We're not just a 1950s diner, we try to celebrate all the decades that the diner has lived through. The memorabilia on the wall, what we try to do is we have like a lunchbox display. We have lunchboxes from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. We have a license plate display through all the different years as well. And then we have a music display on the back wall that has 45s and records and 8-tracks. So you kind of sparks those memories as you come in here. So you'll immediately get a good feeling of back in the day, oh, I remember I had that tape cassette, or oh, that was my first license plate, or I had that lunchbox. The greatest compliment I get is when someone says they come in here and it sparks a conversation that they haven't had in a while about something in their past or a fond memory or something like that. And that's kind of what we want to do. We feel like we're just kind of the heart of the community here, and I think our town feels that way about us too. Like, people feel like we've always been a part of the community and we've always had a place in their lives, and we're continuing to do that.